since I was young, I loved the music that flowed from violin. It always intrigued me to know how to play this instrument. So when I was in 6th grade, my mom put me in violin classes and I also attended the orchestra, which explains the dress I'm wearing. This is what I would wear to concerts. I got my own proper violin at the age of 11 and I have been practicing it ever since. Not lately, but sometimes. The violin is a very beautiful instrument and it takes years to master. So I'm going to go over a small part of its past, some basic information, and also how to properly begin to use it. So the word violin comes from the medieval Latin word vitula, which means stringed instrument. The credit for the first violin is usually given to a luthier called Andrea Amati. He created one of the first 4-stringed violins in the 1550s in northern Italy. Initially, the violin was used for vocal and dance accompaniments, but by the 17th century, composers like Monteverdi began to incorporate it into instrumental ensembles. So the violin became a central part of the orchestra in the 1600s. Throughout the years, the violin changed considerably and had major transformations. For example, the neck was smaller and it also had chord strings. And then some violins, some versions even only had 3 strings. Nowadays, most have 4 and the strings are made out of steel. So over the years, the violin has been an important part of traditional music making, but it actually serves other purposes than just making music. According to Hare, the violin has a lot to offer in music therapy. Studies with Alzheimer's patients have shown that playing the violin actually helps with improvement in mood and neuropsychiatric functions that relate to learning a new ability. So playing the violin actually helps with hand-eye coordination, with mental cognitive functions, and also improves the memory. The violin is a very complicated instrument, so I will go over some of the basics every violinist has to learn. So I'm going to go over some of the major parts of it and their functions. So first off, we have the neck and the fingerboard. It's a smooth, flat piece of wood where the musician presses down on the strings to make notes. Another important thing is the peg box. This is the peg box and these are the pegs and the string goes up here. So the tuning of the string is actually adjusted by the pegs. Another thing is the chin rest and the shoulder rest up here. This is used so that the musician can support the violin without it drooping down low. I almost forgot. But we have the strings too. They're represented by the notes G, D, A, and E. And last but not least, we cannot forget about the bow. So the bow is made out of the wood and then the horsehair. So it is used to rub against the violin to make vibrations and sounds. The first thing to learn when beginning to use the violin is to have proper violin care and maintenance. So we have this fiber cloth right here. This is used to wipe off the white dust of the violin. I left some in there to show what I'm talking about. So you have to wipe it off or else it becomes sticky and dirty. The white dust comes from the rosin. It's like a sap-like material that you use on the bow like this. You put it like this, and this helps so that whenever you're playing, the bow doesn't slide down, it stays in one place. Right, this leads us to the maintenance of the bow. So, right here at the bottom of each bow, there's this little turning peg that allows the tightening and the loosening of the strings. So whenever you're playing, you gotta make sure to not have it too tight or too loose. So once you have the proper violin care and maintenance, those are just the basics. Then I would recommend to actually have an instructor or a course to teach you step by step on how to learn it, like how to properly hold it or how to have that right wrist motion and all that good stuff. But the first thing they're going to want you to know is how to read the notes and also be comfortable with playing the violin and having it up here. So at first it's very uncomfortable, but over the years you get used to it. So for the first few months, all you will be doing is just plucking. It's like having a guitar, but up here and obviously way smaller. And then once you have that, you know, you're good with it. They're going to want you to start incorporating the bow into what you're doing. So you're just going to play open strings. You're going to try to get the right wrist motion. once you have the right wrist motion, you can start playing notes or you can start playing scales. Right? And so once you have all the basic, you have all that good stuff, you just need practice, practice and practice and practice. And then sooner or later, it's just going to come easy to you. It's not going to be hard anymore. So I wanted to show you a small piece of a song to show you how it sounds. So I wish I could finish the song, but we're limited on time. So I have shown you how to properly use the violin and some basic information, and also how to some proper background information as well. The violin is one of the hardest instruments to learn because of its different techniques. But with lots of time and with lots of practice and patience, anyone can make a sounding music. It doesn't matter whether you're 3 years old or whether you're 90 years old. It's never too late to learn anything new. So I hope I have inspired you to start learning an instrument or start learning something new, because it's not just about giving others the satisfaction, you know. Whenever you hear the songs or the music that you make, it also brings you a lot of joy. So thank you.